wife.
Right. Go ahead.
So what do you think about that one, Jose? It was kind of a different conversation on.
Yeah, it was. I thought he was what is it, a naturalist or what?
He was just kind of whatever goes.
Yeah.
You know, the pantheist or panentheism. You know, we all learn from each other, and God is within all, and you know, we'll all be collected together and stuff like that. So. I don't think he really is giving it a whole lot of thought. He's not like dogmatic about what he believes.
Yeah.
But I think when I was talking about the gospel, I think some of it went over his head. I probably went too much into some things because he was looking like, I don't know.
You said a lot.
Yeah, well, I said a lot, and
Yeah.
I tried to repeat it a few times, you know, because repetition.
Summarize
is
it, yeah.
You know, the mother of memorization. But yeah, I gave him the gospel tract too, and just like, here, this is a small summary of everything we talked about, but I got his email, so that's good. When it's weird because in the beginning he was talking a lot, but when you start going into the gospel and stuff, he wasn't talking too much and engaging with it, and he was kind of like, yeah, okay, yeah, I can agree with that, giving kind of like mental assent to it, but no real signs of contrition or anything, but that's okay. What do you think?
At first I thought, I mean, he was trying to say, okay, you know, I have a presupposition of my view. Now, can I agree with his? You
Right.
know, not whether it's true or not, but I don't know.
How do you think that one went?
You know what? I actually thought it went really well. I mean, I
think I went over his head on a few parts.
Possibly. Maybe there. One suggestion I think that you can do, because I think a lot of times we get caught up in the gospel presentation. We want to make sure we get the whole story, and because when you go in parts, sometimes they interject and you can go off course and not get the full message. So I know how important it is to get that, you know, in there. The only thing is you want to keep people involved in the conversation.
Yeah.
So if too much time starts elapsing where they don't have a chance to respond, then it's almost like clicking their heels and messing with their hands and their eyes going down and then messing with their tongue and stuff like that. And, you know, your mannerisms. I don't know. You know, you kind of pick up on their mannerisms and kind of figure out, because I mean in my job a lot of times that's how people are. Like if you approach somebody in an office, you start talking to them and they take a step back, it's almost like you're invading their space in a way, you know what I mean? So you got to kind of read mannerisms a little bit.
I think what you said too is the key, is that you want to get through the whole gospel presentation when evangelism isn't necessarily going through the whole gospel presentation. I think I was trying to do that, probably like he wasn't, not that he wasn't ready for it all, but it was like kind of over his head for right there, you know what I mean?
Right.
I think we had to settle some other things first.
Right. Well, I think one thing that, I don't know if you picked up on it or not, I think he had a little bit of a pantheistic view of God, and I think there was a little bit of a disconnect. He believed, but it's almost like he had two mixed beliefs. He was like, he was almost like he was pantheistic, where he believed God was in everything and in everyone.
But he also
believed in a personal God.
Right.
So he had a contradicting belief that it is, and a lot of people do have contradicting beliefs, and they don't even realize it.
Like I was telling Jose, I don't think he's given a lot of thought into it. It's just like, I don't know, like I think God is like this, you know, and then
right.
But he had a problem with hell, and that's what I wanted to address, was the problem with hell.
The problem with hell. We are actually held accountable. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You know, for a lot of people.
Well, people love God loving them. They just don't like any part of the judgment or accountability. People want to be able to do things, but they don't want to be held accountable for the things they do.
Yeah.
And I think that's, you know, when you started going into the rapist part, then he's like, it's almost like he hesitated to say yes or no that there should be a punishment for him. It's almost as if his response, I think, was a little bit relativistic in a way. Like, but then it's like when you pinpoint him, when you pin him down, it's like, oh yeah. You know what I mean?
I think too, I had a lot of our conversation with Richard still fresh in my mind, so it was like kind of trying to repeat some of the same stuff to him, because he didn't believe in a hell either.
Right.
You know, so I'm trying to go into the same stuff we were talking with him about, like, okay, why don't you believe in hell? What's the problem with hell? And I think that's a lot of people's problem. They don't want, it's first accountability, but they don't understand, how can an all-loving God send people to hell? It's like, well, God isn't all loving. He's also just. You know, he's also holy and good. So anyway, overall, I think it went pretty good, and I'm glad I got his email address, so it's not just left there.
Right. Well, maybe you can invite him to church or something like that. You know, he may come, he may not, but
for sure.
You know, I think that'd be a good thing.
What do you think?